Good morning. Welcome to the shop. We're working on taking some material out of these. Quite simple. Angle your blade. Go slow. Take this material down to about 1.5 millimeters. And then we'll go back and sand or plane. I'm going to take it at this angle, huh? You may have to experiment a little bit with how you do it in order to take the best shaving. All right. Those are now down where I want them. I'm going to clean them up with some sandpaper. This one too, I think my plan calls for this to be 0.8 millimeters. So, get my plane adjusted here. maintain my evenness here. Right about 1 millimeter. I'm just going to double check my plan real quick. Okay, so okay. So now I begin some layout here in order to get my braces in the correct spot. Center brace is going to go there. I need to mark end block. So like I said, my plan is backwards, it's flipped on the page, so I've marked all of my braces. I know they are equidistant pretty much from each other. There's no splay on them that's shown, so I'm going to have to eyeball that. The closer they are together, the more floppy the top will be. The farther they splay out, the stiffer it will be. So it just kind of depends on how stiff or floppy I want this top to be. First thing I need to do, let's mark this. That's a better edge, so I'm going to use that one over there. I've got to make sure they are 2 lengths, and I need to mark where I am putting that centerpiece. Now it's about 1 millimeter, so I'm going to have to take about that much material out. So Do that by first cutting some lines in it. Then I'm going to take a chisel. It doesn't really matter which width. I like the wider ones. I'm going to very carefully move that waste in the middle. You will test your fit. It needs to sit down on top of that just perfectly. So here's what I've got. I've got a little indentation. I've cut it to length. It's the correct width. It's too tall, it's 4 millimeters right now, but when I've set it in place, it touches all the way across. So I'm going to bring the camera down so you can see that. It's kind of hard for me to show that. So it's going to have to sit like that. So I'm going to repeat that same process with every single one of these braces to get them in the spot that I need them. I started with the center one because I know exactly where that one goes. Alright, so I will come back. Alright, so I went back and I measured on my plan how far the center of each brace is, not only from that tone bar, which comes across right here, but also from the center. And I marked that. And then I came back and I did the same thing, center to center, all the way across this bridge patch. So from there I drew a line for each brace. Now once I've got that there, if I don't like it, I can adjust. But that's where I'm going for. I've seen some, they'll take a point up here at the top and they will mark a certain amount of degrees from that point, and they'll use a ruler and they'll mark off of that. Which I don't know if would work in this case, but that's one way to do it as well. Now I've also gone in and on the bottom side of each brace I have used a chisel to take out some material so that the brace fits flush across the length of the brace and for the bridge patch, so that there's no gap anywhere along there. Now with that being said, if my glue is up to temperature, which I think it's getting real close, these can all be glued in. These need to be glued in and then held down, weighted, and let to dry. So that's got to occur before I can go on with any other process in here, because the next thing that I'll do is begin to shave these braces down to the correct height and shape, and then I'll glue the tone bars on. So let's get cooking. Alright, that's the process right there. And you can do this with Titebond if you want to. I'm going to go ahead and finish these up off camera because this is exactly what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to add some better weights though. Alright, so here's a little update. Those are all gluing in. I'm using the planes as weights. If you just have a joint where you don't have to worry about putting in that bridge patch and you can have a straight brace all the way across, you could potentially rub the brace and get it to tack into place right there with minimal effort, but I don't have that luxury for this particular build, so I might be able to do that with the tone bars. But it's okay. So this one's coming along, it's ready to go, and so I'm just going to point out up here, I've got all my stuff bent, it's just sitting on top right there, ready to go, and I have my back sitting right there ready to go. Extra top, that's the rosette I showed inlaying, and not the rosette that's actually going on this guitar, but there we go. Awesome.